Welcome back to the second hour of the fourth week of this lecture, and we are still talking about Christianity, how it's important, and we also trying to see how does Christianity change the world, the culture, the concept, the mindset of people about this war. And we also read about the influence in which the Christianity has maneuvered into this world and has created a change in the lifetime. Most people are living because Christianity have made something good out of their lives. Are you one of those who Christianity is good, has made you something? Then live by the word so that people around you in this world can find the importance in Christianity and be able to grab the way and the only way to heaven. Shall continue from here in this second hour about this wonderful question. Is difficult but kind of understandable. Now, why is it hard to define religion in a simple way for people to understand? Most people think religion is different from what the definition has been said. Like I said, the religion, or rather not religion but Christianity, comes to transform the reality of it. So let's continue from our PPT where we stop in order to see what is hard when it comes to defining religion. Welcome again. Like I said, what is it hard to define Christianity or religion in a simple way? Now, ever since the 9/11 attack on the United States of America, there has been a significant increase in the study of religion and its impact on the society and in the culture. Because of the attack, there has been a growth of interest in the religion of Islam, as well as in the increase in critique of Islam. Now, Islam professes to be a religion of peace. That is what most people say, and that is what even the Quran or the Imam or the whoever is leading them normally say, that the Islam is a religion of peace. It could be right, but the statement is right, but the reality, it's not the religion of peace. Because if Islam is religion of peace, why do we have killings today? And those killings have been coming from our Muslim brethren, who always find it easy to be able to destroy easily, as if because it's part of their way of salvation. However, it's also reinforced fundamentalism in faith, now, which provides a way of dealing with a plethora of choices offered by our society. The society has offered a different principle in which one can be able to associate himself when it comes to religion, when it comes to faith, when it comes to things that has to do with our life in general. Okay, so the idea there is that within this situation, people were able to come closer to God even after the 9/11. And we'll continue to talk about different kind of people who also look at it that way. Now, this is religion and culture seems like complex idea also sometimes to study from the perspective of international relationship, when it bring in different countries to another country relationship. When it goes to religion, it becomes a problem, paramount problem, which needs to be avoided and taken care of. And without that, things will never work right. After all, scholars and philosophers have long debated, and many of them are still debating on that issue. So the solution is yet to be found. I don't know if it's true, but it's a simple thing. I don't debate and I don't try to argue with any of those ones about religion. When I say Christianity is the only way to heaven, I stand by the message that Christianity is the only way. When I say Christianity has impact in culture, I still stand on my way. Now, without Christianity, culture would have been destroyed far ago from now. But people respect the Christianity and the concept of morality that is found in culture. That's why culture is surviving and culture is also manifesting. So anthropologists like Clifford Gaze considers religion to be a cultural system, containing symbols that establish power or powerful modes and motivations by constructing a realistic order of existence. So along the way, Clifford is looking at it in the way of people claiming or functioning or producing or making something out of something in order to function as the principle and way of life. So with the Christianity is a realistic order of existence. So it must be constructed. That is what Clifford Gaze is trying to give us when it comes to the issue of religion as the side of the anthropologist. So we need to understand what it's saying and how we can overcome this. Now, no academic will tell you an identical definitions of religion or agrees over what exactly makes a religion. In a nutshell, we are saying that even in our academic, even in our institution, even in seminary, even in any society, there are definitions that different people felt and be able to produce because that is what they feel. That is called relationship, Christianity or religion. So, however, many will agree that religion is a system of different behavior and a practice, different behavior, a practice that every religion has its set of morals, ethics, and secret side dedicated to figure the respect or figure out that they can be people, supernatural being, or any form of transcendence that provides guidance or afterlife. Now, afterlife is not part of what we are talking about, but people are turning issue in a different way, thinking that afterlife, because of afterlife, we can do whatever we want, that when it comes to afterlife, our life could be mended and could be transformed and could be able to be part of the new life that we are looking for in order to succeed. May I say that religion incorporates the relations of human beings to supernatural, spiritual aspect of existence, religious practices, or one of the most common ways people shows their allegiance or respect towards a particular religion. So you can see at the moment what we try to bring out for you as in regard to culture and religion. So religion can be a key factor in a cultural identity of many people, influencing their behavior and tradition. Rituals, sacrifices, prayers, etc. are one of the many ways people shows their allegiance to a particular religion. So if you look at it this way, is that our particular religion has significant why people are also looking up to. All right, such practices can be or not limited to the rituals, sacrifices, prayers, acts, and they commemorate of their deaths, going to churches, and many more, extending into various phases of human culture that we witness and experience. So let's talk about this as we look up to the system where culture has become, religion is difficult to be explained in our origin. So this is next topic that we are talking about, the cultural importance of religion. So what is the cultural importance of religion? Are we saying the same with religion to culture, or different from religion to culture? Now, the cultural importance of religion, let me take one or two persons' ideas so that we can understand, or we can be able to talk about it. Nance said that God is death, alluding to the secularization in the West and declining of the idea that a divine entity governs our universe. Now, if God is dead, then what else do we live for? So now the declining of the idea that a divine entity governs our universe is not alive, then there is no need of any supernatural being who can be among or be able to control. Why? So this, because that's what the scientists, revolutions, the post-enlightenment period of history no longer needed God. According to Nietzsche, no need of God, because the scientists have proved to us that there is nothing beyond our imagination. So these are people who never believe and have a hope that there is God, and that God is the one that takes care of everything. So I want to say that according to Nance, we need to understand exactly how it functions and it be. Today, more than 1 billion people are those with no religion affiliated. But can we be responsible for creating our value system and moral guidelines without a divine intervention? It's a question that people are bringing, that even though things are like this, we should have our own way and practices that we have to make religion to be. Okay, but religion incorporates the relationship of human being to supernatural, super spiritual aspect of existence. So when you bring that, now every person is trying to less his career or something that could be a destruction or something that will not be able to function, and begin to emphasize on our way in which we run our businesses, and in order we can bring change in the development that we find ourselves in today's life. whatever, even if we think we are, even if we think what we are, can religion ever be fully removed from our daily life and our culture? This is a question that I want us to see if it is possible. Is it possible for religion to be removed from our daily life and culture? No. Whatever the answer is, it might not be impossible, important in exploring the ways of how religion is linked with cultural beliefs. Religion influences culture, but it is influenced by the culture. Okay? It is the influence by the culture. So let me say it this way, that religion can play a big part in the cultural identity of people, influencing how they dress, what and when they eat, and how they behave. So this is all about what we have been talking about. And I bet you that you understand that religion is very important. Many of the cultural traditions are closely associated with religion, and many religion practice and behavior have become so rooted in our daily lives of people all over the world that it is hard to make a distinct difference between culture and religion. Between the culture and religion, as I've said. Now, we have seen one person. Well, let's go to the second person idea about Christianity. All right. Now, John A. Reich's idea on religion and culture. Uh, Religion and culture seems like complex ideas to study from the perspective of international relation. After all, scholars and philosophers have long debated and the meaning of these terms and the impact they have had on other comprehensions of social world around us. Now, so that is his idea, that the people, the scholars or religion and culture is a complex idea because it's talking about the relationship international wide. Now, if you find yourself in a community that entangled with religion and Christianity, and then you are a Christian, you flow and you become flexible and free. But when you find yourself in a community that are only Buddhists or shamanism or Hindu or Islam, purely Islam, you are restricted to certain things that could not allow you to flow. So Rees is saying that religion and culture seems like complex because when you bring the culture of the community where they are used, where they form their culture based on their Islamic mind or based on their Buddhism mind or based on their Hinduism mind, then you discover that the reality of it becomes so tense that one could not be able to flow. So, is it an impossible, complicated task to study religion and culture at a global level? Yes, sometimes, because you have to study every culture, every a religion setting when you are going to a place, to be able to identify their norms, identify what they want, they really need, to avoid things that would jeopardize your life in environment that you find yourself there. So every many culture traditions are close associated with religion. Definitely, they are, but that depends on how you can see to it. Now, but it is influenced by the people when people allows it to go. Okay, a daily now many religions practice and behavior have become so rooted in the daily lives of the people all over the world that it is hard to make a distinctive difference between culture and this. So it is true that complicated tax is what we cannot be able to achieve mostly in this thing. Fortunately, the answer is no. Well, to some extent is no, to some extent is right. For we cannot recognize, for we can recognize and respect complicity without being confused about what we mean by each term. Now, in this chapter or in this past place, which complete the first section of our lecture or our book, because definitely this is going to be a book in the future as we intend to publish. We will explore why thinking about religion and cultural factors in a global affairs is an integral as the other issue we have covered thus far. Now, what is it? Why is it a global affairs? Why is it as integral as other issue? Why is thinking religious and cultural factors is very important in a society? Because this is our daily percentage, this is our daily way of life that we can do and we cannot do without it. So you must take precaution when it comes to those kind of things. Now there are questions also that are popping in for us to look at them, and if it is possible, we can continue from there. I wanted us to talk about element, but because I still have much to talk about this, so we will finish the other part before we come back to the element of worship and culture. So far, what we mean by terms religion? In a nutshell, we have been talking about religion. If I said this and I asked this question to many, what is religion to you? People can give various definitions and culture. Where can we see example of religion and culture at work in the dominant domain of world politics? Where? Where can we see that? Politics have now carried religion into it. Let me take you back to Nigeria a little bit. That, to be honest, the politics now is becoming religious. It's either a Christian become a this, and then everything wants to do it, it must be Christian way. Or a Muslim becomes the leader, evidently it must be Muslim way. Now, forgive me that we don't have other most religious like other countries that have a Buddhist, they have a this and that and that. Our religion is based on what we have, and then we work on it and be able to bring people into that forcefully in order for them to follow. It's not religion. Okay, culture should not be that. We have to keep in mind to the encouragement of our rabbi and a political philosopher, Jonathan Salk. I know that some people know, some people don't know, but when you look at the story of Jonathan Salk, you discover he's a well uh, polit- uh, politician, and he deals with things in a political way in order to draw the transition of the mindset of being a religious leader at the same time in a political mind in order to figure out how life could balance whether you are a religion leader or a political leader. He wrote that sometimes it is helpful to simplify, to draw a diagram rather than to map in order to understand what may be at stake in a social transition. This was done in 1997, page 55 of his book, which is, if you look for his book, you'll find out about him. There has indeed been a transition in IR thinking about the value of religion and culture. So many people would not understand, but many people could see that religion has really value. Like in Nigeria, you cannot go without, in every school, without Christian religious study or IRK, Islamic religious study. So these are fundamental basis that keeps the community in a good shape. Also, another question that we follow the two questions up of three questions that we have asked: how can we define religion and culture in a way that is useful to the study of the world politics? Is it important to teach each term separately before bringing them back together to form a composition picture? We can do that. We already know what is religion. I have told you, religion could be way of life, could be a principle in which people morally live, associate, and practice. And culture also could be a way in which the community is set in governing their own way of life in the appropriate way. Instead of misbehaving, you must go by the cultural norms and setting in order to fulfill which rights and issues that will bring all things to our opportunity. So, right. So, this is the question that we need to ponder when we come back in our next lesson. How can we define religion and culture in a way that it's useful to the study of world politics? Is it important to sketch each term separately before bringing them back together to form a composed side picture of one word, like Christian religion or culture, religion, culture, whichever? Let's return back for a break, and we will continue from there as we continue the third hour of this week. Thank you, and stay tuned as I see you next time.
Thank you, God, for your presence.